sometimes you're just searching for a melody and it's not quite clicking. There's like something really melodic in there, you know? I don't know. That would be like the one on there. It's all, you got an idea and you got to flush it out. And that's a little bit like what we're talking about today, right? It's like you got to flush out these ideas and really challenge your thinking sometime. Because if you've been following this channel, my name's HW. Thank you so much. It's a snowy morning over here in Nashville. I'm looking at the snow just pile up on these leafless trees out here, and it reminds me, another year has gone by. We got a new year starting. A lot of people don't like when I slurp the coffee, but it's very warm this morning. So I bought this guitar. I've been really into these Harley Bentons lately. Maybe you tune in, you go, you got a lot of gear behind you. I know. But I've really been kind of into some of this cheaper stuff lately. And because I'm just really amazed what you can get. And this thing was awesome. I pulled this thing out and had some issues setting it up and stuff, but we kind of worked through that. And it's sort of settled in. I think it's acclimated nicely to the humidity and temperature in here. It's dry right now in Tennessee. And, so guitars go through changes in areas like this when the humidity's up and down, up and down, up and down. And so this thing's sitting nicely at the moment. Did a couple little adjustments since the last video, and it's holding tune pretty well. Still fighting it a little bit. But I went online last night, and I was gonna go, okay, let's mod this thing, right? Let's take this $129 guitar that I paid $175 for, and you can't find them. I don't know. Anyway, it's already going up in value. So let's take this thing and let's mod it. Let's do some stuff to it, right? And I started adding this up, and I started going, oh my God, what a money pit, man. First off, I want to replace the tuners. Now, I said in the last video, I couldn't believe I said this. I said out loud, can I just have the tuners off my Harley Benton 550? Those seem to work really well. Guess what? You can. You can buy those tuners from Harley Benton. I found out these are just 10 millimeter holes, right? They all measure 10 millimeters. And so any 10 millimeter tuner, that's, 3 per side, you can drop in, Godos, whatever. Harley Benton actually sells the tuners from the 550 model. They also sell locking ones. So I'm a little like, maybe I'll just take maybe I'll just buy those cheap Harley Benton ones off the other one, because those work in the other guitar. And I actually said out loud, can't I have the other tuners from the other Harley Benton model on this one? And those are $30. Harley Benton, guys, whoever's out there, listen, this model does not need to be $129. Please make it $149 and put on the better tuners. Just please. I know you guys probably got a bunch of metrics on $129 will sell this many units and $149 will pay this many. Are you sure that you can't just get the better tuners on there and it won't still sell the same? Because that is going to just fix most of the issues, I think, on this guitar. The other issue is the pickups. I really, really, really want to buy good pickups, because once you're going to put any money in, it's like you might as well just get pickups that are going to be as good as anything else, right? You don't need to buy throwbacks. But even as I'm looking at the DiMarzios, they're $200, and it's making me go, hey, 100, 200, 300 with the installation and the pots and all that stuff, right? And the wiring. Forget hardware, just leave it as is. Even if I go with the Harley Benton $30, or I could go higher, go to $75, blah, blah, blah. Now we're in this thing. I was touching on this in the last video. Is this a money pit? Does it even make sense to mod these guitars? And I know a lot of people are going to go, yes, it makes a ton of sense. Of course, I'll even get a comment, only a rich person would say it's not worth the money. My point is, when you take a guitar like this, that I think is already great at $120, whatever. I paid $175 because they're out of stock and I can't find them anywhere. But they had one on Reverb. This is the cheapest one on Reverb, and I still thought $175 is incredible value for that. But as I'm going to put this stuff in, we're talking about another $400 in upgrades. And at that point, my mind starts going, wait a minute, you're approaching the $500-$600 mark here. You're at $575. $575 could get you the higher end model Harley Benton, the SC450. And I thought that thing was great out of the box at $350, didn't need any of this work. So do you just buy one of those? And the other thing is, even if I put that money in, the pickups in this, I'm still going to be dealing with this nut, which is not bad, no problems yet. But what if it starts pinging? Then I'm going to be going, let me get a bone nut going. Now, I did put, oh, almost dropped this in my coffee. I did put Big Ben's nut sauce. That's not a joke. That's the real name of the product. Big Ben's nut sauce. And I did put that on here, which I try to do on all the guitars because it just helps lubricate things up. And so, I don't have any issue right now, but my point is, even if I do that, I'm still going to be dealing with any issues in the future that could arise on this guitar, right? And so at that point, what can you get for $500-$600? Well, $500-$600 used will get you guitars that are in the $1,000 starting out price point. And then there's a lot in there. So it just makes me go, is it worth it to mod these guitars? And I'll tell you a little just diatribe story here about like when I've modded guitars before and how I kind of moved away from it, what I noticed about myself. One of the things that I noticed was I had an old Harley Benton Sheraton, and I modded that guitar a bunch. I put a new nut, I put new tuners, I put new pickups. Several times I put new pickups, and I tried cheap stuff and more expensive stuff. And man, what I've found is once I start tinkering with a guitar, it's a little difficult to stop. There's certain guitars I have, like, here's a guitar. It's my 67 Trini Lopez. Amazing guitar. I have complaints about that guitar. Those are patent applied for pickups. They're very expensive. If I pulled them out of a guitar and sold them, I could buy many, many, many of these. If I sold that guitar, I could buy like 30 of these, right? But maybe more. But my point is, that guitar doesn't do everything, but I don't expect it to. That guitar had something I loved about it when I got it. And there's a psychological nature to, like, that guitar is what it is, and if I want something else, I go pick up something else, right? And there's something to that where you just go, yeah, this is what that thing is, this is what it does. It's not for everything. And you don't discredit the guitar because it doesn't do everything. But I feel like when I start taking a guitar like this, I go, okay, I want the P90s to bark more. So I'm going to get like P90s that bark a bit. Then I want the tuners to, okay, they're just going to hold tune. That's fine, right? Now, then what seems to happen to me and what happened with that Epiphone Sheraton is I put one set of pickups in and then I thought it was great. But then when it didn't do something, I was like, I wonder if I can get pickups that do this a little better, right? So I found myself gravitating from humbuckers to more PAF humbuckers in that guitar to then like more very low output. Then I ended up getting P90 humbucker size things. And then I ended up, trying a humbucker and a P90. And then I ended up, with the Dream Buckers, which were kind of cool. Dream Buckers or Dream 90s from like Guitar Fetish website. Those were real cheap, but I thought they were cool. And then, I was just never really happy. Then I tried to like change the bridge of that guitar, and the tinkering never ended, right? And the amount of money I ended up putting in that guitar, I could have just went and probably got, this was in like the early aughts, so like prices were different. You could get those Epiphone Sheratons for, and I think they were like $350 on the used market, maybe $500. I can't really remember, but anyway, you were able to buy all these things, and at the end of the day, I was like, I'm pretty sure in installation costs and the bone nut and I think I had the thing plecked. You know, it was like I had a great guitar. It was a cool guitar, but I couldn't get out of my head that it should do more, you know? And it's funny. Even like amazing guitars, I don't do that with, right? Like, let me show you something. One guy said this background was fake. And I was like, bro, I don't even know how to do that. Maybe vintage is magic, man. I don't know. I dig that. Point being is, you put all this like you put all this hope into modding a guitar, and I think at the end it's a little bit of a crapshoot sometimes, right? At the end of the day, am I going to have a guitar that's better than just a $600 guitar I could buy? I don't know the answer to that question. I have a lot of doubts, and it kind of feels like the more you start modding stuff, the margin you're paying in these aftermarket kind of things makes me go, you got to buy the pickups used. You got to do the work yourself, or else it's not worth it. And that's really where I think it becomes cost prohibitive for a lot of people, where it's like, this is a money pit. You probably shouldn't put your money into this thing. You should go get another guitar. And so I'm going to mod this thing more because I want to see where it ends up in my life and in the world. What I think I'm going to end up doing is spending way more money than the thing's going to be worth in the end. And that's okay. What that can mean is the utility value of the guitar to me is going to be higher than the value on the market today. And that is, I could make a whole video about that, really. That's really what happens to a lot of guitars. And I think that can be old guitars, new guitars, whatever. I'm gonna end up with a player of a guitar that's really cool. The question for me is, do you need another player of a guitar, right? If you're looking for one guitar that's awesome and you don't have a ton of cash today, you could go get a budget guitar and live with a lot of the issues. And then as time goes on, you might upgrade the nut. And then as time goes on, 6 months later, you might save some money. You might go, I'm going to make a big upgrade. I'm going to upgrade all the pickups and all the pots, CTS stuff, right? But you were able to enjoy the guitar and play during all that time, and you were able to feel it improve. Then you might go, hey, I'm actually gonna get new tuners. That way I don't have to tune as much. I'm gonna get them. They're gonna be locking, or they're gonna be whatever. It's gonna help me with string changes. It'll be quick, and I love this thing. And then maybe you get to the point where you're like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put stainless steel frets. I don't know that that's an upgrade, but maybe you're just like, hey, I'm gonna get this thing plecked, and I've done the setup myself, but maybe that's the first thing you do. But maybe I'm gonna get a little work done on it. I'm gonna have frets crowned and polished, and at the end of the day, you end up with something. It was just a husk of a guitar. Maybe you put a little Scotch-Brite on the back of the neck, and you make it even more comfy. The thing is, you were able to enjoy the guitar over that year or whatever of like modding it. And if cash is tight, you're able to do that. But I think you end up with something that's a better player than it's worth, because you won't get what you put into it to make it out of it. The market won't value your efforts, but you will probably value your efforts. You will enjoy the guitar. You will know where it's been, and you'll feel like it's mine. It's my guitar. It feels like home to me. And I think that's cool. I just kind of wonder if it's not just better to just go buy a $500 guitar with what's out there right now? It's an open question. It's one I'm just pondering. Are these things actually money pits? Don't know.